Owen Abbas here from FightHype.com, and I'm here with Nathan Gorman. Nathan, we're here at the Intercontinental O2 for your fight against Daniel Dubois. Let's talk about that. There's been a press conference before regarding this fight, but we've got a second press conference. Shows the sort of importance of this fight and how big this fight is.
Definitely, it's a massive fight. Obviously, me and Daniel, two both unbeaten prospects fighting for the most prestigious belt in boxing. You don't really have to sell it, do you? You don't have to. It sells itself, you know, when you just look at the bill. Obviously, me and Daniel, Joyce and Jennings, and all who's ever on the undercard, you know, there's going to be some competitive fights, so it sells itself, really.
You know, the way we're looking at the heavyweight boxing, sort of, the way the heavyweight boxing is now, it always seems like a boxer is always going to beat a brawler, and it seems like you're the boxer, and he seems to be maybe someone with a lot more power, but you know, there seems to be more technical ability coming from yourself. Do you take inspiration from someone like Tyson Fury, who people are saying is the best in the division and the best boxer in the division?
You've just hit the nail on the head there, really, mate. You know, it's called boxing for a reason. It's not a strongman competition, is it? Who can outman the other? It's boxing, you know. Who's got the best boxing brain will always... A good boxer always beats a good fighter. It's proven time and time again. Listen, you can get caught. It's the heavyweight division. And if a man over 15 stone hits you on the chin, I don't care who you are, and get caught right, you're going to go down. It happens. But 9 times out of 10, a good boxer always beats a brawler. That's why it's called boxing.
When people say to you, maybe you don't have the power to compete at the top, what would you say to them people?
Listen, they're the same people what writ Andy Ruiz off, they're the same people what writ Tyson Fury off, and they're the same people that's going to write me off. When I beat him...
I know a fighter looks at a fight at a time, but you know, if you beat him, what's the sort of goal? Because you're still very young here. There doesn't seem to be a rush for you. 22 years old, you win the British title. Do you look to defend it outright and then move on to the next level?
Seriously, I have no other thoughts of what's happening after this fight until after this fight. You know, get the win first and foremost, July the 13th, and I'll sit down with my team. You know, management team, Mick Carney, Paul Dodds, and obviously Frank Warren and BT Sport, and we'll go from there.
Just for anyone who doesn't know you, growing up, who's your inspirational boxer? There's all the style that you have. It doesn't seem that there's many heavyweights that you could follow, but just talk to me about who you sort of grew up watching.
I grew up with a fair few. I love Mike Tyson. I love Roy Jones Jr. I love Ricky Hatton, obviously. And I also liked the old fighters in the 70s and 80s. You know, the Frazier, Foreman, and Ali. I grew up watching. I love watching them fighters.
Talking about that era, then they seem to be some fighters in there, some good boxers in that era as well. So you're taking inspiration from people like that.
Yeah, definitely. I prefer to watch the older fighters than the modern day ones. Obviously, you got to move with the times, but I think if you could only switch, it's never going to happen. But if you can only switch the 70s to now, we wipe the floor with the most powerful.
I just want to talk about what happened this weekend. Obviously, it's the biggest news. Obviously, with the heavyweight division being the Premier Division, something like this, such a big upset, was going to ripple around the world, and it has done. Talk to me about that. Did you see Andy Ruiz Jr. sort of pulling off that upset?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I said in previous interviews before, you know, I obviously backed Anthony Joshua. You know, he's a fellow Brit. I wanted him to do well, but I said I won't be surprised if Andy Ruiz pulls a massive upset. What happened? He pulled the massive upset. Fair play to him as well.
And a lot of stuff was said about him not being body beautiful, but it shows in boxing you don't need to be body beautiful.
You have no need to, listen, mate. It helps to sell. You know, being ripped to death, it helps to sell. Of course it does, but it's boxing. It's not a modelling agency or whatever. You know what I mean? We're going to get in there and fight. We're going to throw bombs at each other. We're going to have blood, sweat, and tears. Your six-pack isn't going to come into pay then, is it? You know what I mean? The only thing what matters is your heart, your boxing ability. That's what comes down to the nitty-gritty. When you step in that squared circle, your six-pack and your muscles isn't going to help you. It proved that last Saturday.
What did you make of when Joshua got knocked down? It seemed like he never really regained himself.
I think myself personally, when he hit him, he just mumbled all his senses. And that can happen. This is the heavyweight division. One punch can end a fight, can't it? Not just heavyweight, any fight, really one punch in it, but especially the heavyweight division, you know, man over 15 stone hits you on the chin. It's curtains.
Has that truly opened up the heavyweight division now?
Definitely. You know, 2 weeks ago there was only one man, wasn't there? Now it's turned the corner.
Saying what you said about anticipating what Ruiz would have done on Saturday, Do you believe the rematch is going to play out the same way?
If I was Joshua, I'd want the rematch. If he gets beat, he's lost to a better man. But if he wins and he gets his belts back, doesn't he? You know, he's done what the greats has done before him. So I'm still going to backhand to Joshua because I want a fellow Brit to win. But I won't be surprised. I've said this again. I won't be surprised if Andy Ruiz does the job again.
Have you ever done any work with Joshua, like any sparring, anything like
I
that?
sparred him when I was at the GB team, but it was years ago. It's like when I was 17. So
Did you see back then? Did you see any qualities like him being the?
of course, he's a fantastic boxer. He was Olympic gold medalist, world silver medalist, and a former unified heavyweight champion of the world. You can't be bad, can you?